Hello everyone, it's been a while, but I'm back with some more TEW9 content. This episode will be the start of a diary focusing on the SWF of the default game world known as the Cornellverse. I will be playing as Jerry Eisen, who is the owner, so please subscribe if you haven't already, because I already have a plan in place with some exciting stories all the way up to Supreme Challenge and some ideas beyond that if the series is liked. The first Supreme TV is the best starting show rating and main event rating I've ever gotten, so stick around for that. Firstly, I want to change two things with the product. For now, I'm changing the match focus to main event. We haven't got enough staff power to pull off 3-ring circus, so this change means 90% of the match rating will come from our main event only. So this will be my focus to make sure I have a solid main event every show. I've also changed angle focus to tight. Again, we need one stellar angle, which will be 90% of our angle rating, to go towards the final show rating. I'm going to bring in two indie darlings who will come straight onto the main roster as I have plans for them. The first, as you can see, is Ernest Youngman. He is ready to go. He has 85 technical, 77 psychology, 74 charisma, and 72 star quality. He is Supreme TV ready. Also, Aldous Blackfriar, who has 70 brawling, 79 psychology, 76 charisma, 84 microphone skills, and 64 star quality. But we may be able to boost that if he puts on some weight, or if we can get him to boost his muscle. Again, I have plans for him, so he is coming in. I also attempt to bring in Papa Swole and Mutant, but they will first go to RIPW as they just need a bit more seasoning. I want to boost my road agent, so I'm bringing in Sam Keith on a written deal. We can get him exclusive as he has ties. We can't get him exclusive, because he has ties to MAW as the owner, but he has 100 in all the needed categories to be a road agent. Sean McFly will also be coming in as he has 97 psychology but 100 in all the other needed stats. So he'll be my second best road agent, with Enforcer Roberts, who is already here, being the third best with 95 psychology and 100 across the board. Eric Eisen needs to be given a position on the card, so he is going to be an authority figure, and I'm tweaking his gimmick here. He will stay as a heel, but we want to even that out with a face authority down the line. I've assembled my booking team. Sorry, Squeaky McLean, you only miss out because it would upset Atom Smasher, but I wonder if this will come back to bite me on the butt down the line. Let's set out our merchandise to rapid growth. I want to make as much money as possible, as the goal is to be number one across the globe, so this is step one. I also want to check my roster, and I realised one of the big stories I want to tell needs to have John Greed become the manager of Hellion from the off. So let's tick that off the list. That reminded me to set up the stable of the Harrowing. As you can see, John Greed is the deputy and Hellion is the muscle, but there will be more joining soon. I mentioned before that step one was raising the rate we grow our merchandise in the hopes of getting more money. Well, that is because I'm creating the SWF Network to boost my viewing numbers and help wrestlers grow in popularity, being in front of more eyes, and to catch and take over USPW as soon as possible. This has left me with $354,000 in the bank. Will I even make it to episode 2, or will I bankrupt myself? I want my development talent to grow in skills and popularity, so they are the first to sign up to the SWF Network for both events and TV show. I turn SWF Uprising into a 1-hour B-show, again to quicken the development of my young wrestlers and to build back momentum for guys who are losing on Supreme TV and pay-per-views who haven't got that focus at the moment. Pay-per-views, Supreme TV and Uprising are now all signed up to the SWF Network, which is much bigger than the providers we already have in place, so hopefully I can make some big money over the coming weeks and grow the network even further. I don't normally use pre-booking, but I will try to for this save. So we had Eric Eisen's big announcement and Spencer Spade versus Joey Morgan for the North American title to try and get some viewers. Let's skip a few days when it's showtime. It's the first ever SWF Uprising from Wisconsin Gardens, and it will be taped the same day as Supreme TV. I hope this saves money, and I will try to book people who are not on Supreme TV on the B show. I'm sure you'll point out in the comments when I don't stick to this. First match is a pre-show featuring James Prudence, the veteran, hopefully teaching a few things to one of the company's future stars in Zap Powerson. It got a 46 overall, but Zap clearly isn't ready for the main roster yet, putting on a 20, although he was off his game. Zap has great charisma and star quality, so if I can get his psychology up in the 60s, his popularity up a bit, we then might start him on the main shows. For now, he will be an RIPW and may appear on Uprising from time to time. Next, we have another pre-show match, as Sammy Smoke was given the job to guide Whole Lotta Marvin through a dark match. Marvin got a 27, so not ready yet, but you may have seen from my previous videos, when you have a worker like Zap or Marvin who have great charisma and style quality, you can quite easily get them up the card and even win your world championship within 6 months. But that isn't the story we're telling today, but it is on my channel if you want to go and watch it. And the final pre-show match features upcoming tag team of Nuki Brown and Kingsley Christopher. They are pretty close to debuting on the main roster, just a few weeks of exposure on the B show and on RIPW shows, and they should be brought up to freshen up the tag division. They are both 64 on psychology, or maybe a bit more, and around the 60 mark for star quality and entertainment skills. They are part of the infamous stable with Willie LaRue, who is better prepared than this duo on stats. We just need to grow his popularity. They do the job for Jungle Lord and Oliver Cobb, and we get a 50 rating. We kick off the first ever episode of SWF Uprising with a surprise one-night appearance of Charlie Thatcher, who takes the loss when facing up against upcoming Kip Keenan in a 6-minute match. This got a 58, which is higher than both men's pop, so I will take that. It should pass some popularity from Thatcher to Keenan, which is what I was hoping to achieve here, with Thatcher having higher popularity than Keenan. We go backstage where Angry Gilmore is approached by Swagger Inc. They insult him for clinging to the spots that younger talent should have. D'Souza also adds that better looking talent. Gilmore tells them that he'll see them later tonight in the ring. They laugh and think they are having an easy handicap match. Gilmore then shouts over, "Hey kid!" Ernest Youngman enters the scene. He asks Youngman if he has his gear, which Youngman replies, yes. Youngman is put over as a new exciting prospect by the commentary team, and Gilmore puts over his body of work and asks if he would like to team up tonight against these two jackoffs. Youngman says it would be an honour, having studied his technical skills since a young age. We have a match and potentially a new tag team with a mentor-student element to it. This gets a 63, which will hopefully increase Youngman's popularity. We return to in-ring action as Hellion makes short work of Brian Jewett. I booked a squash match because usually it gives the dominant worker a boost, especially someone who's good at squashing other workers. Well, it didn't go that way on this occasion, as Brian Jewett is another who is almost ready to make it to the main roster, so hoping the exposure would at least give him the popularity boost. A 28 as Hellion was off his game, but he did lose popularity points for some reason. After the match, John Greaves gets some kicks in on Jewett as Hellion gets his arm raised. A hooded figure enters the ring, revealing themselves to be Aldous Blackfriar. He joins in on the attack as Greed takes the microphone. He introduces the Harrowing. They promise their destruction will continue as long as it needs to, as they follow the path set out by their master. Hellion drops Jewett with a vicious powerbomb as all three men stand united. This gets a 46, which again has Hellion, Blackfriar and Jewett involved, who have barely any popularity, so I'll take that as a win. We are back in the ring again, and another one-night only surprise as we build towards the 50th anniversary show. You may see this happen on the next couple of shows as well, and the pay-per-view. As former SWF alumni, American Machine takes a submission loss to the up-and-coming Forrest Ratzloff. This gets a 50, which is about what I'd expect because both men's popularity are around there. Again, hopefully this will boost Ratzloff's popularity. The next will be a regular spot for the foreseeable future, as Gary the Entertainer will be doing magic tricks and puppet shows for the fans backstage. Robbie Wright will always try to spoil this, as he is jealous of the attention Gary is receiving. However, in this segment, Sammy Smoke was upset that Wright tried to ruin the show as he was really enjoying it. Wright and him get into a shoving match, and then Smoke fires back with Wright, turning him into a babyface as Gary and the planted fans cheer on Sammy, who chases off Robbie Wright. We have too many heels at the bottom of the card, so expect one or two more changes. A 59 rating there, but from the squash, which cooled the crowd down in the previous segment. I think this could have gotten a 65 or a 70 in the right spot, as the notes show that Gary and Robbie work well in comedy spots. So we'll maybe try that again later. You can see Sammy changed his gimmick. He's more of a lovable rogue now. He was a con man, but now he's more of a liar, cheater and stealer, but he's honest about it, and he does it towards the heels and those who deserve it. So we'll see how this goes. The gimmick got a great rating, and the turn was a success, so that's a good start. Now we have the main event of SWF Uprising, as Gilmore and Youngman get the victory over Swagger Inc. via DQ when their muscle, Justice Jolson, got involved. This got a 65 rating. I was shocked that D'Souza and Hernandez lost overness, but I assume it's because Youngman has such small popularity. However, he did gain lots of popularity from being in this match, so it's a win I'm willing to take. The final segment sees SWF TV commentator Damien Carvel interview the winner of the match, as Gilmore praises Youngman's skills and offers to help him make it to the top of SWF. Youngman is very gracious and accepts the offer, and he promises to use the knowledge he receives well. Another 65 rating. The final show rating is a 63, but I was warned that I used Ernest Youngman too much. Well, we'll see how that goes going forward. The show did benefit from a wider selection of angles, which will give it a boost. I did use a serious angle, comic relief, interview. I used in-ring and backstage to mix it up. So there we go. That's how you get a little boost. Right, next we're straight into Supreme TV. So let's meet up with our booking committee. And we finished with 38 points after all the deductions, which is not good enough to get us anything at all this week. The cost of getting creative ideas has gone up in the latest update, as some obviously felt that it hindered the game. I guess we'll have to wait for next week's show to see if we get anything good. We'll go through our dark matches first. I like to book my young wrestlers against experienced guys in the hopes of skill improvement and maybe a bit of popularity growth in that specific area that we have the show. We have the Harrowing taking out Whole Lotta Marvin, Brian Jewett and Zap Powerson, which got a 42. The Dallas Cowboys then defeated Nuki Brown and Kingsley Christopher, getting a 60 rating, which is great. As you can see, the tag team specialist bonus is really going to help this young team. I will feature them on Uprising in dark matches until their popularity gets to around 30, then they could start picking up wins over lower card talent I have no focus on at the moment. In the final dark match, we have Gilmore and Youngman defeat Samson, Sharp and Hoss Hanley, who are the current RIPW tag team champions. This gets a 54 rating. Both men need a bit more seasoning, so will remain at RIPW, but may get some opportunity on Uprising. Youngman getting a 59 in the ring, almost matching the veteran Gilmore, who got a 64, is promising. So here we go, the first segment of Supreme TV of 2022, and Rocket Golden comes down to the ring to open the show. He talks about being a fighting champion for the people. He has taken on all comers and all challengers, and 2022 will be no different. So then the commentary will be talking about Des David's interaction since October, the little scuffles they've had, the comments they've passed back and forth. And it's rumoured that they will face off at the 50th anniversary show, but nothing has been confirmed yet. Remo's music hits and he comes down to the ring. Both men have a stare down. Remo then gets on the microphone. He wants to face the fighting champion tonight. He promises the next time they face each other for the SWF Championship, as it's been so long since he held it, he will be taking it. The commentary point out that it was 2017 the last time Remo held the championship. He is then interrupted by Scythe, the Reaper comes down to the ring. He stares down both men as he towers over them both. He holds out his hand until Golden eventually passes him a microphone. Scythe feels he deserves the next shot at the SWF Championship. He has taken out 2 icons of the SWF, including Skulderbones and, more recently, Valiant, who will never be seen again. Golden offers to face both men here tonight. Remo tells him he's either very brave or very stupid, but he has an idea about why doesn't he team up with Scythe to take on Golden, and if there's anyone back there stupid enough to be Golden's partner later tonight. But if either Remo or Scythe pin Golden, then they get a title opportunity next week on Supreme TV. Golden looks at the fans, then tells them they're on. This got an 85 rating to start the show. So we've set up our main event, and we potentially have a match next week. We go to our first match of the night, which is Spencer Spade defeating Joey Morgan to retain the SWF North American Championship. This was a pre-booked match, and it got an 80 rating, which is amazing considering Morgan is on cooled momentum. Justin Sensitive got involved, which helped Spade win the match. You could say the Rat Pack is back, causing mass distraction? No? Okay, we'll move on. Okay, I clearly made an error here. This was supposed to be Hollywood Bet Star sneaking out of the crowd, taking the SWF North American Championship, which he takes from Justin Sensitive and lays him out, taunting Spencer Spade into getting a match for the belt, and Spade realising he has no option but to accept. But you can see instead of Justin Sensitive, I selected Justice Jolson. Anyway, we'll have to tweak the story here. So, the story is Sensitive legged it after causing the distraction, and Morgan is groggily making his way after it. Spade has hired Justice Jolson for one night for protection, as Huntington and Trescott are preparing for their big tag match later. Starr jumps the barricade, takes the belt, and clocks Jolson with it, and he holds it as ransom until Spade gives him what he wants. Give me what I want! So now we have another match we can pre-book for the 50th anniversary show, as Spade gave in and give him his championship opportunity. Eric Eisen comes down to the ring for his in-ring segment. He is carrying something which is covered in the large black velvet cloth. He pops it on a stand and sets it up, that has been set up in the ring, making sure it's covered. He tells the fans that he's going to be the most innovative and exciting year in the history of Supreme. He obviously explains that he is now the main authority figure. He puts this down to his own creative genius, and he says that the superstars and the fans are in the best hands with him as the SWF authority. He walks back to the table, revealing a new SWF title belt. The camera zooms in, and Eric explains that this is the SWF World Television Championship. It will be another step on the ladder for those up-and-coming superstars. So it's a tertiary championship. He does warn challengers to proceed with caution, as it must be defended every week on Supreme TV. So let's see how many times I forget to book it. He says the championship will be decided next week in a fatal four-way on Supreme TV, so anyone back there who wants the honour of being the first champion, they have to let him know. That's got a 74 rating. So Eric debuted his new authority gimmick, an entitled, flashy, arrogant authority character. Good that it gives a boost to microphone skills, and it's been rated as great, so that's 2 for 2 on gimmick changes. Iron Crush got a win over Rift and Ruin. That's the new name for Avalanche and Makutsi. Hawaiian Crush are looking to get back into SWF tag title contention with a win here. We go backstage into the parking lot. Des David gets out of his new sports car. He passes the keys to a staff member to park his damn car for him. He is walking towards the camera, muttering about being sick of people taking his opportunities. Golden is running scared, and he's about to do something about that, which got a 75 rating. We are backstage in Eric Eisen's office. He's on the phone to someone. He confirms to them that he is in charge of SWF and is just checking in on their well-being. Obviously, seemingly concerned for their well-being, because he doesn't really care, does he? He's a heel. He seems very happy and says, "So you've been cleared to wrestle." Then, shocked when he reveals, "You're on your way here tonight." He confirms that somebody else is here tonight, but advises against any confrontation. Has he something in mind for the 50th anniversary show? So who could he be talking about? And who is he talking to? Ison is interrupted by Des Davids, who sends his office doors flying open. He is furious and is sick of being overlooked. He has beat every punk ass put in front of him. He has run fools out of this company, and good riddance to them. He has lived rent-free in Golden's Head since October, and he's got nothing in return. If he doesn't get his shot soon, he's then interrupted by Eric, who tries to calm the situation down. He starts searching his desk and pulls out some paperwork. He tells him Golden has got himself into a potential match next week, so depending on the result of the tag match tonight and the match next week, if that happens, but he has put in the clause that whoever is the SWF champion going into the 50th anniversary show in 2 weeks will face Des Davids. He looks pleased and says it's about damn time. He takes the contract and says he will make sure whoever it is signs the contract, and he leaves. Eric checks his phone, but the person on the other end must have hung up. He puts his feet up on his desk and smiles as he relaxes in his chair, which got a 75 rating. The next match didn't go as planned, as Oliver Cobb picked up an injury. It got a 39, which is bad, but it may have done us a favour in cooling the crowd down, so we can build back up towards the main event. Cobb gets the win with a surprise cradle. He didn't pick up any popularity either because of the injury, which I must have set as a quick pin, so that's disappointing. The injury also sucks, as I have some planned matches coming up. But plans are subject to change. Obviously, this was against Charlie Thatcher, who it was on a one-night appearance. With us having both shows in one day, then he can appear on both. In the next segment, Rogue comes down to the ring looking smug. He believes it's only a matter of time before the SWF Championship is back round his waist again. After all, his good friend Eric Ison is in charge, and they go way back. He is feeling so confident, he offers an open challenge. The music of Primus Allen hits, and Rogue immediately regrets the decision, looking like someone just crapped in his cereal. Primus gets into the ring, and Rogue tells him he was talking about the 50th anniversary show. He's not on about tonight. He wouldn't want to put on a high-profile match like this in front of these idiots. But as Primus is here, and he has been impressed with his body of work, he has a bit of advice for him. He gets a little closer, as almost if he's trying to whisper something, but then clocks him over the head with the microphone. He gets a few more good shots in, and Primus goes down. He tells him never to trust a scoundrel. This got a 73 rating. Fumier is backstage. He has an interview slot with Mikey Lau about his ongoing issues with Randy Unleashed. But before he gets to say anything, he's interrupted by Unleashed Awesomeness. Randy tells Lau there will be no match between the two of them, as he's been to see Mr. Ison, and he doesn't think Lau is on Randy's level. The Awesomeness are like laughing and playing in the background, not really paying attention, but just laughing whenever Randy says something. He adds, so there is no point going to see him about it because the decision is final. Lau offers to do it off the books in an unsanctioned match or in a parking lot brawl, and Randy storms off announcing this interview is over, even though the interview wasn't with him in the first place. The Awesomeness are still goofing around and then suddenly realise that Randy is gone, and then they go to follow him. Fumier is about to send it back to ringside when you hear like a loud noise of some pipes hitting the floor and all kinds of chaos, and the cameraman runs off to go and see what's going on. And when he catches up, Des Davids is putting a beating on American Machine, shouting out, "How dare you show up here? I ran you out of this place. You're finished. Your history," as he adds stomps after stomp after each word. He tells him never to show up on his turf again. As he walks off, Rocky Golden appears into the scene and asks for help for Machine. Davids backs off, staring at Golden as commentary plugged the 50th anniversary show, as Machine was here as a guest, as a surprise, as a previous SWF employee and fan favourite, as they build up to the pay-per-view where the past, present and future stars will be celebrated. This got a 77 rating, which will help all stories involved. Faith and All Glory get the win over Fame and Money, who were focused on this big match, so that's why they weren't out there earlier. The other reason is they'd have probably brought the rating down. I got an 85 rating with the Hollywood promo with Spencer Spade, so this is why they weren't there. Patriot gets the win for his team, who are the number one contenders for the SWF Tag Team Championships. This got a 75 rating, which is great as all of the competitors are around 60-65 popularity. After the match, they are jumped by the SWF Tag Team Champions, who take them out with power-based moves, leaving them lane. Smasher shouts, "We'll see your asses at the anniversary show." So another match that we can add to the pre-booking. In the semi-main, we have ZWE picking up a win against Mainstream Anders with a 450 splash, getting a 70 rating. Brandon James was at ringside with Chrissy Angel, who has a clipboard. Not sure why it's not mentioned on screen, because I definitely booked it. But maybe if you just add them as at ringside, it doesn't show up. But it did advance the storyline, because Mainstream Hernandez isn't in that storyline, as you can see. In a light-hearted attempt at comedy, we have a similar situation to on Uprising. Gary the Entertainer once again putting on a show with some planted fans. Robbie once again tries to heckle and disrupt the show during a card trick. He steals the cards out of Gary's hands and mocks the children that they no longer have, the card trick can't be completed. But Gary manages to find the card the child had picked, which was in Robbie's back pocket the whole time. This has lots of cheers from the fans. Robbie is furious, but Gary reveals he had something else in his back pocket. It was a ticket to go and see the Lady Boys of Bangkok. Robbie tries to assure everyone that it wasn't his, and he turns around to face Gary, who isn't there anymore. Another illusion. I'm not sure if this was funny or not, so bear with me with the comedy. We'll see. It got a 73, which is great for both guys with 40 to 45 popularity. In the main event, and wow, an 87 for this main event. For like I said, for the first show that you normally book, you're lucky. I'm normally lucky to get an 81 overall, so 87 in the main event. Scythe and Remo come out at first, followed by Rocky Golden. Remo and Scythe look like Christmas has come early, as there's no music hits for a good 10 to 15 seconds. Eventually, the music of Valiant blares out over the arena, hopefully to massive reaction, as he's been out since early December, as he was taken out in a table spot by Scythe, who looks like he's seen a ghost. He assumed that he'd ran Valiant out of the company. And around the 15-minute mark of the match, the referee loses control as everyone is brawling on the outside. A lack of selling was a penalty, but I was well happy with the overall result. The first show, like I said, I'm lucky to get an 83 for the main, and can't recall ever getting an 80 rated match for a sem. Right, the next segment, the final bit of the show, the camera follows Valiant and Scythe as they brawl through the fans to get to the back. They're hitting each other with everything they can find, from trash cans, chairs, tables. It's all used in this chaotic brawl. When they disappear out of sight, the camera pans back to the ring where Remo and Golden are facing off, looking as if they're ready to brawl again. From out of the crowd behind them comes Des Davids. He takes the SWF Championship and slides into the ring. He hits the back of Golden's head with the title, which sends him into Remo. Remo groggily spins round, and Davids takes him out as well with a belt shot to the head. Golden eventually gets up as Davids is taking the crowd reaction in. So he stalks his prey and launches himself flying at Golden, taking him out with a belt shot to the head. Both Remo and Golden are bloody on the floor after the title shots, and David stands tall, holds up the SWF Championship. He then takes the contract from his pocket and signs his name in Golden's blood, leaving the contract and the show as the show goes off the air, and gets an 84 rating. So obviously, because the tag match, they didn't get a victory, there's no title match on Supreme TV, so we'll find out what happens on the next show of this controversy. So overall, it got an 85 rating, which is my best ever score for the first show of a save of Supreme TV on TEW IX. We made 2.4 million off this one show, so we should be able to grow our network with results like this over time. We gained minor popularity in every region, as you can see in yellow there, but not enough to go up a full digit. Valiant has gone up in popularity by 1, going from 77 to 78. Spencer Spade went up 2 popularity from 69 to 71 with that win over Joey Morgan and the 85 rated Angle with Star. So the more I can improve his popularity, the better ratings he will get out of everyone else on the card, because he is that good. And lastly, unfortunately, this loss for Joey Morgan dropped him down 3 popularity from 70 to 67. But hopefully you didn't lose any interest in this first episode. Let me know if you liked it with a like and a subscribe, or tell me something that your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoy TEW content and have included links in the description you might like to enjoy other videos I've created, but wait right there, I have picked out one of my favorite videos that I've done right here. Bye.